After a successful season in the Vanarama National League, today we have a review of the season just gone, and we look at some new recruits because we're going to need them in the Football League. Hello, it's a warm welcome to episode 62 of From the Bottom to the Top, as we try and take a National League South side, in this case Weymouth, from the bottom all the way up to the top. And this is our journey. My name's Mark, and on today's episode we have for you that end of season review, and then we will be looking at the transfers, who, where and what we need to bring in if we're to shore up this side to compete in League 2, which is where we are next season. Don't forget, if you enjoyed today's episode, leave me that big thumbs up, subscribe, hit the notification button, let your mates know to come and watch, and all the rest of it. Leave me a comment, let me know what you think of the series so far. Let me know if you've got any gems that we should be looking out for, bearing in mind that we are 2027 in game, so if there's anybody you think we should be signing, looking for, let me know in those comments, and you can keep up to date with everything that's going on this channel by following me on X at JustOffsideFM. Right, let's get into it then. Got a lot to have a bit of a scramble around and look at. So we're starting today on 9th of May. We've come to the end of our season, of course, finishing our season on a little bit of a higher run of 3 games where we did very well. Scored 11 goals and only conceded 2. So very good running after that loss to Boston. But we did finish the National League as champions, and we finished not only champions, but 10 points clear. Why am I having this trouble? I always have this trouble. 10 points clear of our nearest rivals, Halifax Town, who you will have seen from that last screen, have actually got themselves promoted as well by beating Oldham Athletic, who finished 3rd. To come up with us. So top 2 sides have gone up, and exceedingly good, of course. And Halifax Town will join us in League 2 next season. Torquay, Eastleigh, Gateshead and Guiseley all being relegated. We will have a closer look at that table and do a deep dive in a short while, and have a look at the teams that will be coming up into the National League as well. So that's how we finish the season. We always traditionally like to get on with this episode and have a look at the end of season review. Today's going to be no different. We're going to start there, I think, do the end of season review, and then we will have a look at all the other bits, the deep dive into the table, and of course we will have a look at incoming transfers or potential incoming transfers. And here we are with the end of season review for the end of the season 26-27. And as always, we start with our new recruits. Good to see all these have got pretty much green all the way down to Harrison Roan. So our star signing of the year, Glory Nzingo, came in from Swansea. 32 appearances, 11 off the bench, 14 goals, 16 assists, contributing 30 goals. Did Glory 7.42. I'm hoping that he can perform in the higher league. Travis Patterson, he came in on loan from Bournemouth. 4 appearances, 1 from the bench, 3 goals, 2 assists. He did very well in his time here. Want to see if we can bring him back in. 7.40. Jack Holman also came from Bournemouth. He had 28 appearances, 4 from the bench, 2 goals, 7 assists, a 7.16. Will Armitage came in from Bristol City to shore up our defence and did an exceedingly good job. 36 appearances, 5 from the bench, 10 goals, no assists, a 7.13. James Jones on loan from Charlton. Want to see if we can bring him in again. 31 appearances, 9 from the bench, 19 goals, 4 assists, a 7.12. Kevin Cowdlish came from Brighton, 19 appearances, 8 from the bench, 9 assists, a 7.07. Ethan Braley came from Brentford, 23 appearances, 10 from the bench, 3 goals, 9 assists, a 7.03. And Harrison Rowan came in from Reading in goal, 41 appearances. He made a 7 on the average rating. Other players coming in, Jaden Wareham also coming from Reading, 23 appearances, 9 from the bench, 10 goals, 6 assists, a 6.98. Brad House came from Maidenhead United, 12 appearances, a 6.98. Charlie Stevens, the other loanee from Bournemouth, 4 appearances, 1 from the bench, 1 assist, a 6.92. Garante from Crystal Palace, 29, 4 goals, 3 assists, a 6.91. And then a number of others. Callum Hewlett from Bristol City, 15 appearances, 6.90. Luigi Gasper from Watford, 31 appearances, 8 from the bench, contributed 7 goals, 6.87. Abdul Malik from Millwall, 23 appearances, 19 from the bench, 8 goals, 6 assists, 6.83. And Jacques Lorenzen Jones came in from Carnarvon. He was probably the worst of the incomers, 6.60. Didn't really perform last season. Going out, Dan Casey left for Stockport, made 17 appearances, 1 goal, 2 assists. Didn't do particularly well, 6.53. Joe Knight went to Tranmere, 3 appearances, 30 from the bench, 6.41. Tom Solanke, always grass is greener. They always think they can do better. Tom Solanke wanted to go. He made just 2 appearances for Bradford City, a 6.30. And also leaving Melvin Lambert. Not sure where he went, or is he a free agent? Yeah, he left us, ended up a free agent. Teddy Howe and Kieran Evans, all free agents, not doing anything at all. Season's results in the National League, record a National League top half finish. We did that, finished first, average attendance 1,831. Top scorers, Peters and Jones, 17 goals between them. And the board were pleased that we won the National League. As I said, we will do a deep dive into that in due course. Reached the FA Cup proper, which we did. Lost, went out in the second round of Boston United. We remember that 3-3 draw, 2 3-3 draws. Went to replay and lost on penalties in the replay. Amika Peters getting the most goals with 3. The Isuzu FA Trophy. This was a bit disappointing. Going out in the end to Aldershot Town. Sorry, not Aldershot Town. We went out to York City again on penalties. I suppose we haven't lost it in real time. They wanted us to be competitive. Got through to the final round, and it was Aldershot beating Yeovil Town, I think, in the final 4-2. Moments to remember for the season. Our biggest win was we beat Chester 7-2 in the National League. Peters getting a hat-trick. Garante, Abdul Malik getting 2, and Patterson getting the other one. That was towards the end of the season, I think, because we had Travis Patterson in the team. Match to remember was the 2-1 win over Barnet back in October. Sorry, September. Telling a lie about October. September. Nzingo and Cooper getting goals after Rob Street had given Barnet the lead after 11 minutes, but we managed to win that match. Goal of the season came from Nzingo, and I think actually it was, for once, probably was one of the best goals of the season. Bolton plays the ball to Braley. Braley finds Nzingo, and Nzingo hits it from well outside the area and curled that into the back of the net. And as I say, probably was one of the best goals, 3rd goal in that game. A game against Rochdale back in January. And I think for once, truly memorable goal of the season. Overall sponsorship deals, 2 new deals, 137,000. Most notable deal, 1 year deal worth 75,500. Sponsorship 81,000. Broadcast revenue 14.35. Corporate hospitality 53. Prize money 66. These compared to last year, not showing up last year's figures. Merchandise sales 17.3 thousand. Which non-domestic sales amounting to 114 of that total. This is how we lined up. The team, Roan, Linton, Grante, Armitage, Holman, Braley, Gasper and Bolton in midfield. Nzingo behind Jones and Peters up front. And awards for the season. Well, I won the awards in September, November, December, February, April and Manager of the Year. So managed to win that for this year. Fans Player of the Season, Nzingo, a 7.4. Young Player of the Season, Nzingo. Signing of the Season, Nzingo. Goal of the Season, Nzingo. He won nearly enough all the awards. The only other awards he didn't win, of course, top goal scorer, Amika Peters, with 20 goals. Top scorer, Nzingo won most assists with 16. Player of the Match awards, 6. Highest average rating, 7.4. And Will Armitage, most passes completed in 90 minutes was 49. Doesn't say which game it was in, but there you go. Record breakers, James Jones, 4 most goals by a player in a match. He scored 4. Most goals by a player in a league match, 4. And clean sheets in a season. Harrison Roan had 14 clean sheets. And history in the making. We'll look at the league table in due course. Weymouth took a little while to get going, but really set themselves up for the most magical of outcomes with an unstoppable late run. I think we're pretty much going well all season, to be honest. There we go. There's the league triumph. Has hit the manager's timeline. Mika Peters' flurry of goals will long be remembered by Weymouth fans as they were crowned National League champions during 26-27. That is the roundup of the end of season review then. As I said, we will now have a look at the table and do a deep dive as we usually do. Just to recap, we were champions on 103. Halifax Town second on 93, getting promoted via the playoffs. Oldham Athletic, Chester, Bromley, Yeovil Town were the other teams that were in. Hang a bit. 1, 2. Sorry, yeah. And Scunthorpe, of course, ending up in those playoff places. And just to recap of the playoffs, let's have a quick look around. First round, Bromley beat Yeovil Town on penalties to go through to the next round. Scunthorpe beat Chester to go through to the next round. And then in the semi-finals, Halifax Town beating Bromley by a goal to 0. Oldham Athletic beating Scunthorpe by 4 goals to 2, which of course left us into the final. And the finals, we've already said, is Halifax Town beating Oldham Athletic by a single goal, which gave them that win. It was Daniel James getting them the goal, which promoted them to the Football League along with us. Right, let's have a look at this table. As we said we would do, a proper deep dive of the table. There we go. We already mentioned the teams that were relegated. Let's have a deep dive then. Home record. We were first. We lost 2 games at home. Oldham Athletic and Barnet, both by a goal to 0. 53 points, the same as Halifax Town, who also came up with us, of course, pretty much equals. They scored 1 more goal than us, but they conceded 1 more goal than us, hence why the goal difference was the same. So it was pretty much even Stevens throughout the season. And our run-in at home, of course, losing 1 over 5. They drew 2 of their 5 on the run-in. Gateshead, Torquay, Eastleigh and Guiseley were 23rd, 24th, 1st, 22nd and 24th, respectively. The only other team that didn't do particularly well was Solihull Moors. Down the bottom there, the away record. We weren't best away from home. Best away from home was Oldham Athletic. They got 54 points away from home. We only got 50, losing 1 and drawing 1 of our last 5. Halifax Town, in this case, were third on 40 points. That's where they dropped away. Not so good away from home. We lost 3 games away from home. Boston United, Yeovil Town and Rochdale, all by a single goal. So we weren't cricket scored out of it. Aldershot Town having a worse record than Torquay in the away record, that is. It was only their home record that I think saved them from that. In fact, Aldershot Town, as you'll see, way up here. So that's what saved them. The first half of the season, at halfway stage, we were 2 points clear of Halifax Town, 50 points over 48 points, and then there was a 5-point gap down to Chester. Oldham were in 4th, and Hartlepool, who ended up 10th, finished in... Did I say 1, 2, 3, 4? Were 5th. Hartlepool, who finished 10th in 39 points. And as we'll see, Eastleigh were down here, were up here at that point in the season. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14th place at the end of the first half of the season. 33 points, and would have expected themselves to survive. I don't know how they got sucked into there. Guiseley were on the bottom there. Gateshead were just inside, and Torquay were outside on 25 points. But a poor second half will have seen that go awry. Second half of the season, we were just as good. 53 points we got. 4 losses in that. In fact, I didn't check that out. Oh, I didn't check that out. Only lost 1 game in that first half of the season against Halifax Town's 3. Lost 4 in the second half of the season. Halifax Town having a better second half, but still 8-point gap down to them. Oldham Athletic were 3rd on 45, and that's how it ended up. Of course, Bromley, who ended up 5th, had a good run in 4th. Rochdale, who finished 14th, had a good second half of the season. And as you'll see, Torquay United, Gateshead, Guiseley, Eastleigh having the worst. Only picked up 4 points in the whole of that second half. Didn't win 1 match in the second half of the season. And that's what sent them packing in the end. And not particularly good running, which meant that that's how they went. Last 5 games of the season, we had the best run in, 12 points from the last 5. Halifax and Rochdale both picking up 11 points. Only lost 1 game in that last 5, dropping, of course, 3 points. Whereas they both drew 2 games, dropping 4 points, which was the difference. And Colchester and Chester also having half decent run-ins. Eastleigh, as we know, had a really abysmal run-in, only picking up 1 point in that last 5 games. Fylde and Guiseley also doing very similar. Scunthorpe really were struggling to get themselves out of it, and a good run-in for Aldershot Town made sure that they survived. That is how it ended up. This is how the media prediction was. They predicted that we would finish 11th, finished 1st. Halifax, they predicted 13th, finished 2nd and got promoted. Oldham Athletic were expected to finish 3rd and did. Chester were expected to finish 18th and did a fantastic job finishing 4th. Bromley, who were expected to be promoted as champions, finished 5th. Yeovil 6th instead of 7th, and Scunthorpe ended up in 7th place. Were expected to finish 16th. The teams expecting to be relegated were Boston United, but they survived in 19th. Chelmsford City 22nd, finished in 18th place. Eastleigh did go down. They finished. Were expected to finish 23rd and finished 22nd. And the other team, Guiseley, were expected to finish bottom, 24th, and actually did as they were expected. So that is how how that all looks. What we're going to have a quick look is have a look at the North. Warrington coming up via the playoffs, which is good news for them. But the table finished up looking like this. Kings Lynn Town getting promoted as champions on 95 points. Warrington were 2nd, but came up via the playoffs. Buxton, previous save here on one of our series from one of the other years, of course. Buxton getting relegated. Kirsten, Ashton, Micklova and Owen Town all going down. And then in the National League South, Eastbourne Borough getting promoted to the National League, beating Maidenhead United in the playoff final there. Eastbourne Borough, who finished in 6th place, so they've done rather well. Dartford missing out and will kick themselves. Wildston getting promoted to the National League. Farnborough, Basingstoke Town, Chippenham Town and Gosport Borough all getting relegated to the lower divisions. So that's how it's all rounded up. What we're going to do now is we are going to jump forward to the 1st of June and have a look and see if there are any transfers. Well, as it stands, we are on the 2nd of June. Nothing has happened yet. Travis Patterson, Charlie Stevens, the last two loanees coming in. Nobody going out as it currently stands. Let's have a quick look and see what's going on. To be honest, there isn't anything going on at all. We've got a couple of trialists in. Tom Edwards has rejected coming in. He playing on the left side, could also play as a central defender, looking quite good. Yeah, we'll see whether we can have another crack at him at some point in the not too distant future. Let's have a quick look up here. Actually, haven't got any trialists in, mainly because I think it's the end of June before all the trialists become available, and we start trialing players in. So that's pretty much where it is. One of the things that we are doing is having a look at the players that we could probably offload that didn't get a lot of game time this season, and potentially we could move on, save ourselves a little bit of cash. I think one down there, Bryn Morris, for instance, I know he played 14 games, but wasn't particularly good. £1,000 a week. We could save that and use that on a new player. So we're looking at all that at the moment. We're also looking at the at this and looking for squad depth. We definitely need a goalkeeper. We're not too bad left and right, albeit if Travis Patterson drops out. Defensively, centre defence, we definitely need Will Armitage and Jake Garante. Pretty much the only two in that back line. Defensive midfielders were okay. Central midfield's okay. Attacking midfield's not too bad, but take out Patterson and Stevens and it could be a little bit wonky. And I think we're looking for another striker as well, to go alongside Peters, Wareham, Abdul Malik, and of course James Jones. If we can get him back, would be rather splendid as well. Right, nothing much to tell you there. Then let's jump forward to the 1st of July, and when we jump to the 1st of July, hopefully we'll have some transfers or at least some trialists. 1 and 2, we can have a look at the new season and who will we face first in the Football League, in League 2. I should have said before we do all of that though is we do have a draw coming up as well. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to jump forward for that draw first. It's a draw for the Carabao Cup. And you join me for the draw for the Carabao Cup, the first time we've ever been in the Carabao Cup. And we are in with all the big boys, Burnley, Bristol City, championship sides anyway. I don't think we're in with the Premier League teams at the moment, but the rest of the Football League join us at this round. Let's get underway then. Let's see. Burnley are first out. A match at Turf Moor against Bradford City. Bristol Rovers, they will play Sunderland of the Championship. Stoke will play Wolves. An all-championship match that. Doncaster will play Salford. Shrewsbury will play Crewe. Portsmouth will play Bristol City, both in the Championship now. Walsall will play Queen's Park Rangers, both in League 1. Northampton Town of League 2 will play Mansfield. Stevenage will play Hull City, League 2 playing the Championship. Wigan of League 2 playing Chesterfield of League 1. Grimsby will play Crawley. Peterborough will play Harrogate Town. Sheffield Wednesday will play Stockport County, both of League One. West Brom will play Reading. Swindon Town will play Morecambe. Cardiff City of the Championship play Millwall of the Championship. Fleetwood will play Halifax Town. Leyton Orient will play Forest Green Rovers. Our first opponents in the new season. We've missed them. We're not going to get them back to back. Luton Town will play Barnsley. Derby will play Sutton United. Middlesbrough will play Huddersfield Town, both of the Championship. Cheltenham, League Two, will play Norwich of the Championship. Newport County will play Charlton of League One. Preston North End of the Championship play Wickham in League Two. Lincoln City will play Weymouth. There we go. We are out. We are playing Championship Lincoln City in our first Carabao Cup tie. We'll draw the rest of the teams and have a quick look down at any other plum draws down there. Swansea, Milton Keynes, Blackpool, Ipswich, Oxford, Wrexham, Plymouth, Notts County, Wimbledon, Coventry, Cambridge versus Burton, Accrington Stanley versus Gillingham, League Two fodder, Carlisle and Bolton, both at League One. Watford will play Tranmere, Sheffield United will play Rotherham, and Birmingham will play Exeter City. That is the draw, should I say, for the third round of the Carabao Cup. Well, thank you for the draw for the Carabao Cup first round, the first time that we will have featured in that. And here is the fixture list for the new season. It's out. We will play a number of friendlies leading up to the new season. New season starting on the 31st of July, and our first opponents away from home at the New Lawn is Forest Green Rovers. And then, as you've just seen, we will face Lincoln City at the LNER Stadium in Lincoln for the Carabao Cup, our debut in the Carabao Cup. Can we get through to a Carabao Cup second round? Notables in there, I think, as we're looking, of course, FA Cup first round at the end of October. And we don't have to go through the qualifying bits of this season. Boxing Day, we're away to our arch rivals who came up with us. No, we're not away. We're at home. I'm telling lies. They're coming to visit Halifax Town on Boxing Day. So that is our Boxing Day thing. And then on New Year's Day, we welcome Gillingham to the Bob Lucas. And will be new ground, new territory for us. We end up the season, Sutton United and Morecambe are the two sides that we face. Our final league game at home, Sutton United at the Bob Lucas, and then we're away up country at the Mazuma Mobile Stadium for the game against Morecambe. Let's hope it doesn't come down to needing the points when we get to that position. I think it possibly will do, but we will see when we get there. Right. The other thing in question is transfer history. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. We're having a torrid time trying to bring in players. To be fair, they only started to become available yesterday. So we're going to have to wait until we have a look at just before we kick off the season. We'll bring you up to date of how we got on in our pre-season friendlies and what have you. So there are realistically not a lot of things to change. Having said that, surely we've had some players go out, but they don't appear to have registered yet. As I think we said, we have lost the likes of Bryn Morris just as one of those that has left us. So that will catch itself up, I think, in due course. Let's just double check that again. I did actually do that right. All transfers, released players. There we go. Got the released players. So Bryn Morris has gone. He's been released. Elliot Bolton, he's been released. Ben Blythe has been released. Liam Vincent and Harvey Slater. We've released 5 players. Morris, Bolton, Blythe, Vincent and Harvey Slade all left us for new territory. Player trials, nothing as it stands at the moment. Right. that's where we are. Future transfers, nothing. Can we have a look and see if we've got a few irons in the fire? Let's get rid of the ones that aren't showing up. Jack Lorenzo Jones looks like he's going out on loan to Hemel Hempstead. But otherwise, nothing really happening on the transfer front, as I say, at all. I'm hoping by the time you come back next time, we will actually have news for you as far as what's happening, and find out a little bit more about the players that we've got, hopefully, coming in for the new season. Come back and join me, 26th of July. We are just literally 5 days away from our opening Sky Bet League 2 match at the New Lawn against Forest Green Rovers. And, well, we'll have a look in a moment at what the media is expecting of us and all the rest of it. But let's have a quick look at transfers because there has been some activity. As you'll see, Ronnie Hollingshed, there is an offer in for him at the moment. We have brought in a couple of players. Thank goodness for that. Eventually, we got them in. Luca Fletcher. He is a striker. Let's have a proper look at him. Luca Fletcher. He is our first signing of the season. He's in for £700 a week until 2030. So he's in for 3 years. He's an advanced forward, just an out-and-out striker pretty much. Dribbling 14, finishing 13, first touch 14, passing 11, technique is 10. Looking reasonably good in all that. He's got good acceleration as well, and we've seen it in pre-season. I'll show you the pre-season fixtures in just a moment. Charlie Olsen is the other player. In fact, he's only just come in, snuck under the wire. Can play as a central defender, can also play as a right wing back as well, backup for the right-sided players. He's got good heading, natural fitness, marking, tackling's good. So he is quite a good player, 6'1". He has come in from Salford, where he was on loan. Blackburn basically is where he's come from. Was on loan throughout the last couple of seasons. Played a little bit at Chesterfield in their promotion season, I think. So he's been around before, and we've got him in for under contract. He's here for 3 years as well, £950 a week. So doing quite a good job with him. So Luca Fletcher came in from Manchester City, of all places. There you go. Manchester City was on loan at Newport County, but he's come through the Manchester City wall from Reading. Manchester City took him on and brought him on. He's now with us, and as I say, he has been doing quite well. Outgoings, Jack Lorenz Jones. He did go to Hemel Hempstead on loan for the season. We'll make a decision then whether we keep him or whether we get rid at the end of the season. And as you'll see from this, friendlies wise, we had a good start to our friendly season. Stockport County, we've played them twice, beat them 2-1 on both occasions. Exeter City, a 5-3 win, a topsy-turvy match, that one, but lost our last two. This, I have to say, our pre-season was pretty much against all League One opposition. Stockport, Exeter, Oxford and Bristol Rovers were all in are all in League One for this coming season. Let's have a quick look at some Luca Fletcher goals, shall we? The 5-3 match against Exeter City in this one. And this was his first goal for us. Ball out on that wide side. Congreve, really. There's some names here you won't notice. Fletcher sweeping that into the back of the net. And he scored 7 minutes later with this one. Long ball. It's headed down by Olsen, who we've just brought in. Jones through to Fletcher. Fletcher, what can we say? Let's hope that's the sort of form that he's going to be in for the start of the season. James Jones also getting two. Interestingly, Luca Fletcher picking up a player of the match as well. 2 goals, 1 assist, 1 key pass and 1 clear-cut chance created, 17 shots, 8 on target against their 9 and 4. We were quite dominant in that game. And then he scored in the consolation goal in the game against Oxford. Armitage, Braley to Gasper. Gasper finds Fletcher. Fletcher brings it down so nicely and puts it past McGinty. Unfortunately, that was just a consolation goal because Deli Basharu, which I think has been in one of our other saves, Raggett and Van Stay have caused us all sorts of merriment and things. We weren't mega out of it. 11 shots, just didn't hit the target so much for 1.57 and 47% of the possession. We were just outdone by them a little bit, and then we played Bristol Rovers and played poorly, to be fair. But we didn't use any of our trialists either. We tried to stick with the side that we might start the season with. As you'll see, there are a number of trialists in here. Jordan Wright is a goalkeeper. We're still looking for that goalkeeper, of course. And we've put in an offer for Hollingshead because he's slightly younger. And he potentially could turn into a better player. So that's why we've gone for him over Wright. But Wright is our backup. Aaron Arnott, he's injured at the moment. He will be back. He is due back shortly, but we're not sure whether we will bring him in yet or not. Congreve, you saw in one of those games. He's been playing. Have we put in a bid for him? We haven't as yet. Olasande is a right-sided player. I'm not sure if we need any right-sided players. And Amole is also in there. He's can play left wing-back as well as central defence as well. And Tyler Cordner is a central defender, but we're not sure what they need him. He's 28 years old and may not go for him. As usual, any small gaps, if we don't pick them up via trialists, bearing in mind that now we're in the Football League, we do have a window that's going to shut on us. So we have to be very, very careful. But having said that, we will possibly look at bringing in a couple of loans if we don't fulfill it through the trial route. That's what we will be doing. Let's have a quick look then at the season preview. Don't actually have anybody in the Media Dream 11. There is one player, James Jones, and Luca Fletcher are the two players that, as it turns out, are in the key players are expected. They are expecting us to finish 20th, 50-1. 20th place is what the media are expecting, remembering that 2 go down, which they're expecting to be Northampton and Halifax Town going back whence they came. Wigan and Wimbledon expected to be promoted out of here. In fact, I think it's 3 that get promoted. So Wigan, Wimbledon and Tranmere. And of course, then the others play off for the 4th place. I think that's right. Is that right? Yeah, I'm sure is it 3 up, 2 automatically, and then it's playoffs for the others. I think that's how it works actually. So 2 automatics, and yeah, it gives us more chance to go up, of course, from this particular division at the first attempt. That's hope so. Our first opponents are expected to finish 4th. They were relegated last season along with Tranmere, Crewe and Shrewsbury. In fact, it is 3. It's 4 down. So, yeah, I was right the first time. Of course, going up, and then in the upper division, relegated Ipswich, Queen's Park Rangers and Burton Albion. Walsall, Milton Keynes Dons, Chesterfield went straight through, which is what we want to do, straight through League 2. And Carlisle also being promoted, but they're expected to be in the race or the fight to get relegated, of course. So we'll be needing to keep one eye on all that's going on there. Right, that is how it is. That is what we're looking at. We're going to come back for our first 2 games of the season. A League 2 debut, 2 debuts, in fact, both away from home at the New Lawn first, and then at the El Aniyar Stadium for the game against Lincoln City in the Carabao Cup. First time we've been in the Carabao Cup. So looking forward to it. I hope you are too. And yes, if you if you are looking forward to it, come and join me on Friday when we will have the first 2 games of the season. Hope you will join me for that. If you've enjoyed today's episode, leave me that big thumbs up, subscribe, hit the notification button, leave me a comment. Don't forget, the notification button keeps you up to date with all future episodes of Bottom to the Top, and our other series, of course. Our new series, which started yesterday, wasn't yesterday, it was on Monday. I'm telling lies. I was going to record this on Tuesday, but didn't get around to it. Going Dutch, as they are released, the first 2 games of that season will start tomorrow, in fact, with our first 2 games in that particular series. New episodes of Bottom to the Top released every Tuesday and Friday, 4:15 p.m. And the best way of keeping up to date what's happening on this channel is to follow me on X at JustOffsideTV. Thank you for watching. Hope to see you for the next episode. It's going to be episode 63, our debut in the Football League and in the Carabao Cup. Join me for that, episode 63 on Friday. Till then, bye-bye.